Oh, hello there, Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community, and welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director and Head Containment Specialist here at Site-42. And as I do and have done every day for the last 7 months, the daily streak remains strong. I am here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your queries about the inner workings of this dark and mysterious place of employment we work at, called the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who get a little salty about the whole containment scenario, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different, multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom, I am here for the next approximately 3 hours to answer your queries. Rave Haven. Starting off our housekeeping, congratulations on being our literal most punctual member of the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. Congratulations on being first. Meanwhile, Dr. Puppeteer, Wolfden, Amber, Junior Researcher Sally, Notorious Gaming, thank you all for being here exceptionally punctually, and thank you for being members. We appreciate your membership and your service. Meanwhile, Forever Clover, Aaron Iron, Rar Caution, Fext, and Forest Eyes. Congratulations, thank you for being punctual, and thank you for being here just for being you today. Got a couple donation messages jumping in really quick. Let me get those started. Junior Tundra Sherwood, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chocolate chip cookie on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I'm trapped in the Upside Down. Okay, you can have the cookie when you get back. Get back from that hell dimension, and then we'll give you a cookie. Dr. Puppeteer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a mango on your way past the commissary. I swear to God, this is my 170th time dying. I have risen from the grave again. Why me? Well, Dr. Puppeteer, sometimes we all get stuck in a Groundhog Day loop. Sometimes, once in a while, you get stuck with a resurrection curse, and it's not fun. Everyone's so, oh, you'll never die, isn't that great? But then you find out how much nicer it would be to actually just die. But I'm sure medical will clear that up for you soon. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Amber, thank you for your 2-year member message as a level 1 researcher here at Site-42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Happy membership birthday. 2 years, woo. 5.5 years if you count TikTok. We've been really doing content for that long. Some of y'all been around here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. This is crazy talk. We are getting up there, people. But the only way time moves is forward. That's the only way time moves. Completely non-anomalously. There is no other way that time flows. Don't worry about it. And Jonathan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some chocolate-covered strawberries on your way past the commissary. Out of character, have you ever wanted to play Halo in a frigate or a carrier or Covenant capital ship? Someone released a mod for that for Halo Reach. I don't know what that means. What do you mean play Halo in a frigate or a carrier or a Covenant capital ship? That's not a mod. That's going into a capital ship. I am concerned. Just finished watching the new SCP movie and holy crap, it was so cool. I'm glad to hear it, Fex. Those boys over at Keter Labs can use some more subscriptions. If you have not gone to watch SCP Containment Breach Short Film 2025 at Keter Labs, go do it! Then we can support them and have more SCP live-action films. We don't get it unless we support our troops. That's what Mobile Task Force Psi-42 codename Signal Boosters is all about, ain't it? Now, before I go into the rest of the Q&A, of which today will be, let me begin our stream subject, just to get out of the way. And just let me open up a quick message I sent myself previously to summarize. Allow me to give you an SCP weather report. Bring your umbrellas. SCP-Twitter-JP is having a seasonal old SCP is better than new SCP storm. The eastbound interstate is blocked by falling. It got bad when they started power scaling. Beware of rabid. This is why RPC exists that escaped from the hole. In case you have not been around the community for a while, you may not have heard some of those phrases before, but we are having at least the Japanese branch of SCP Twitter is having their seasonal old SCP versus new SCP debate. And all of us old heads are just sitting here. First time, huh? Because me, oh my, does this come up every couple of months? If that often. Someone who doesn't really read the SCP wiki and doesn't really understand the community and its history or evolution just start talking out their ass sometimes. Oh man, SCP used to be so much better when it wasn't all power scaling. Guys, the original SCPs were including 173096 and the Unkillable Lizard. They were literally simple power scaling monsters. Everything changed from that later. It didn't become that. It started as that. What are you saying? It's tiring, but at the same time, the more times you walk through that rain, the more times you learn to shrug it off, and don't forget to bring your umbrella. But of course, this has led to a bunch of the Japanese SCP authors and fans going a little AWOL. My algorithm is just filled with people arguing in Japanese at each other, sometimes being translated, sometimes not, and so I'm just left confused. At least it's not our fault this time, English branch. At least it's not our fault this time. But yes, SCP is an 18-year-old writing community, and it goes through phases and evolutions. We had the simple creepypastas, and then when people got bored of that, they started writing more elaborate stories, and then when they got bored of that, they went back to the simple stories, and then elaborate, then simple, then elaborate, then simple. It's waves, man. George Lucas, bro. History, it rhymes, man. And so, yes, not Shocking. Just keep your umbrellas with you if you happen to go on Japanese SCP Twitter, because, as always, the water is wet again. Wait, I'm as old as SCP. Well, SCP started in 2007, so if you are 18 this year, you are likely as old as SCP. I don't remember the exact month that SCP started if you're getting really granular about it. I feel like it was July 2007. This is easy enough to look up. When was SCP-173 written? In case you don't know, SCP-173 was the original SCP created on the X board of 4chan before so many SCPs were inspired by it and created that the SCP community had to move off to its own wiki. SCP-173 was written on June 22nd, 2007. So, if your birthday is after June 22nd, 2007, you are officially younger than the SCP wiki, or you're younger than the first SCP. Meanwhile, if you are older than June 22nd, 2007, you are currently older than SCP. But yes, SCP is old enough to vote now. And yes, pretty much every couple of months for the entirety of that time has been the is SCP washed / did SCP fall off conversations. And it's always people who don't actually read the wiki saying so. They're having a combination of, ooh, I liked those SCPs that were mega popular that I remember, but also I never went and actually read the website, and I get all my information from YouTube channels or TikToks who are likely going to focus on the most clickbait of articles. And so yes, you're not getting the highest quality information from the content creators compared to going to the actual source. And so, I guess at the end of the day, to both the people making this argument as well as you in your daily lives, let's end on the moral. If you're going to make general statements about something, perhaps study the thing you're talking about first. If people, my word, would study the thing before they talk about it, we would just have a better world, wouldn't we? We would just have a better world. I get my information from the one and only Dr. Sherman. Intern counter mission, while I appreciate the vote of confidence, remember, I am doing streams and shorts content. Everything I do is even minorly, microscopically the scale of the rest of the wiki. Even when I'm talking about SCPs, I can only give you quick summaries. So remember, my goal here as a channel is to give you, oh, that story exists? That sounds cool. I'm going to go read it. As well as getting people to make more movies and games about it, because then we can explore the SCPs in different formats. But don't get all your information from one source, especially if it's not the actual main source. That's all I ask, guys. I trust Dr. Sherman and verify. Wise choice. Although I've never gotten it wrong, and you can never prove I've gotten it wrong, and if I got it wrong, it was from a multiverse where I was right. Trust and verify. All right. Moving from the stream subject, TLDR, old SCP is fine, new SCP is fine. Chill the hell out and research something before you spout off nonsense, please. Twitter. Why would I ask that? I know that's never going to happen. Seagull Fly, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Klondike bar on your way past the commissary. Oh my god, Andrea Joshua Asnikar made a new film? Yes, Seagull Fly. Yes, in fact. It was a week or so ago, a week or two ago, that we welcomed I Do Not Recognize the Bodies in the Water, a short film by Andrea Joshua Asnikar in the water YouTube. And over the course of that, I'm pulling it up now to check its statistics. Andrea is still sub 50K subscribers, which upsets me. And the film has 20K views. It's a 45-minute live-action SCP film. More people need to watch it. See, here's the thing about this one. They are going for that realism vibe, which I think is a bit of a tricky game to run in a supernatural source like the SCP Wiki. But look at this. It's like true crime out here. It's so realism. Even when they're doing creepy cult shit and walking into the water, which those poor guys, all the BTS, is about how cold that lake is in the middle of winter. And so, what they did for us, what they did to make this happen, you have to give them your props. You have to go, check it out, give them the good views and subscribes so that they can make more. So we can have more live-action SCP films. It looks so good. Oh, wait. Creepy yearbook. Creepy yearbook. Waiting for the creepy faces. Creepy face yearbook. It's gonna get you. So cool. So yes, that is also on our list of projects to support right now. And so if you haven't seen I Do Not Recognize the Bodies in the Water by Andrea Jaju Asnakar on YouTube, go watch it, go like it, go comment on it. Get it some props. All right, refreshing chat. Ace, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a lemon bar on your way past the commissary. I've arrived, and you are welcome. Dr. Puppeteer, thank you for donating again. Ha! I'm starting to go insane. Don't be surprised if I die 10 more times today. Why did I even bother to step foot out of my office? Totally not going to get drunk off my ass. Well, at least you're not going to get drunk through your ass. Please, no boofing on site. It is bad for your health. It is bad for containment. Question, Dr. Sherman, have we tried training the 939 instances? They steal the voices of their prey. They are too dangerous for training. I wish there was a short film of SCP-055. I need you to check the database for me. We don't have a 55. What are you talking about? Weird. Wait, is this the dude who makes those videos with that spinning pen that reacts to SCPs? By Jove, I think it might be! Leona, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some tortellini on your way past the commissary. What SCP would you make into a film? No budget. Do you mean no budget as if we have barely any money? Or no budget as in no budgetary restrictions, just go nuts? I'm going to assume you mean the latter. And if I have no budgetary constraints and I can just make what I want, then Two ideas come to mind immediately because of the spare, no expense nature of this. I would want to enact the plan that I told you guys a couple streams ago. I want to buy a burnt out IKEA, a closed IKEA, and I want to go to all the local IKEAs around it and refurnish their interior of the IKEA so it looks like a fully active live IKEA. And then we have the perfect setting for the SCP-3008 Infinite IKEA short film, Survivor series, all sorts of stuff going on there. In fact, my problem is if I have a dead IKEA that I can refurbish, I'm also annoyed because I would also want to do like a LARP in there. Can we have the Infinite IKEA LARP? One of my favorite authors, Jim Butcher, author of the Dresden Files series of books, my favorite book series. With his author money, he has purchased a large lot in the Midwest and built a LARP village, like a Renaissance fair on his property that people can go and LARP on. So I like that for the interior. Give me 3008 SCP LARP. Give me SCP LARP in the IKEA. That sounds fun. Special events. You can have random SCPs come in and your PLAers have to deal with it. But this is getting away from the movie idea. So yes, Infinite IKEA movie, first and foremost, or series. Furthermore, though, infinite budget, I want SCP-001 SD Lock's proposal when day breaks, but only if I can have the budget for practical Cronenberg flesh monsters. I want to get gross like The Thing, baby. I want to get gross like Existence with these flesh creatures. I want the practical effects. I want it gross and grody. That, way better than any CGI. And so yes, that is what I would do with that much budget. Haunted Researcher, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a cinnamon sugar toast on your way past the commissary. I knew you would say 3008 for the film. Well, you must have remembered that IKEA plan I came up with a couple streams ago then. Notorious Gaming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a strawberry eclair ice cream bar on your way past the commissary. I think we need a 729. No! That's Jay. You son of a bitch. Horror movie. Well, The Thing is fucking terrifying, but I wouldn't subject a film cast and crew to such a thing if I could help it. Although, as I've said previously, a black comedy horror film like the Jack Frost Snowman murder movie, or like Chucky and other killer doll movies would be very funny with that thing. But I'm not sure anyone could survive the filming process, unfortunately. Ace, thank you for donating again. I think you were right. The GOC are outside my house. I warned you, man! Your game is too swag. They're gonna destroy you. Be careful. Could you put SCP-173 into the sun? Intern Richard. We could obviously launch 173 into the sun. It is just a concrete and rebar statue. But we would have to put someone on the spaceship to sacrifice them so that they could keep the thing in the spaceship still until it reached the sun. Because if we tried to launch it and then nobody saw it, it would just come back. Stupid no blinking when there's no one around. But also, whether we got the logistics right to get into the sun, it is concrete and rebar. It would obviously be destroyed by the sun's liquid hot plasma. But then we couldn't research it anymore, and we don't destroy anomalies unless we have to, because then we can't research them anymore, so no. Haunted Researcher, thank you for donating again. Wait, if that thing is -J, what is 729? 729 is not nearly as interesting or horrifying as -J is. In fact, when you search 729, usually -J comes up first. 729 is codenamed Marble Bath. It is a large bathtub. If you sit in it, it is so relaxing that you never want to get out of it. And so then you will end up, you know, dead inside the bathtub. So, yeah, don't take a bath in 729, that's for sure. Ace, thank you for donating again. I just used my tax evasion strategy on the GOC. Well, I could assume that the GOC is quite taxing, and therefore you would evade them in that way. So not a bad plan. Waffle, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a cantaloupe on your way past the commissary. Waffle finally escaped the back rooms and is in cell. Well, I'm glad to hear you've made it back to your containment cell. Good work. Why would I bathe in an SCP? Because you're a D class and we've got you at gunpoint to make you do so, obviously. Frogman and Groza, thank you for informing me that the likes are more than the views, although the views just jumped up, so they're no longer higher than the views. So hit the like button so the likes are higher than the views again. That way the algorithm will bend to our will. See, now it is. We're in that nice little tightrope where it's just going back and forth. But hold on a second. I'm seeing a lot of chats at once. First of all, yes, good work getting the like count about the viewers. Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters. As always, we do so that we can get the YouTube algorithm to bend to our wills, bring us more viewers who will become subscribers to Psi-42, who will join the ranks of Mobile Task Force Psi-42 code Signal Boosters, and to help us support the SCP Wiki and its authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, etc. Because not only are you helping me do my job broadcasting, but when I tell you there's a new project and you go and you like it, share it, subscribe it, and all that good stuff, it helps us keep artists in the SCP community. Because Amazon and Netflix won't put that money in the door themselves because they're afraid of the Creative Commons. It's up to us. And so I thank you for your service to the cause. Furthermore, let me see what I just got here. Was that From the Start by Lofi? Eloise, yes it was. It has been stuck in my head for a week because I saw a hate tweet about the artist, and instead I listened to the song and I was like, oh, this is a groovy little samba, I can teach to this. And so now it's been stuck in my head for a week. Is that an orange cream soda? Not sponsored, but yes, it is in fact an orange cream soda. I do like orange creamsicle in my life. General Grimm, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a saltwater taffy bag on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, it's Dr. Williams. Good evening. I'm just compiling some notes. What is your most researched and tested on SCP? Which one do you enjoy visiting the most? Well, my most researched and tested by far, I'm sure this is no surprise, is SCP-4521. That anomaly has yet to scream. And until it does, I cannot stop my project. The research must be done. We must succeed in our experimentation to make SCP-4521 scream, along with every other tree that already screams. This one will not be left alone until it joins the rank of the screaming trees. Now, if for SCPs I enjoy visiting, I'm going to have to say SCP-3092 today. Playing war games with those little stuffed gorillas is a very fun time. I'm trying to requisition them some laser tag gear. I think that would be particularly fun for them. Ace, thank you for donating again. I just witnessed Markiplier called Tim Tams a Canadian candy. Well, I don't know what a Tim Tam is, so I do not know if Markiplier is correct or not. I have to ask, Doc, can you spin a pen with both hands at once? Well, a pen with both hands at once, I mean, it's kind of hard to get it around between hands, but I guess you can do something like that and, like, run it from hand to hand. It's not exactly smooth, but I've never done it before, and hey, that's not actually that bad. Boom, boom. Oh, if you mean doing two pens, then there is that, and that's fine. Is this the SPC? Intern Jacob, this is the SCP Foundation. We secure, contain, and protect. If you're looking for the Shark Punching Center, the SPC, they are down the coastline. You can't miss them. They have a big, shiny skyscraper in the shape of a fist. That's where you go to get your sharks punched. I hope I don't get terminated today. Well, intern, okay. Don't do anything termination worthy. You should be fine. What is the shark punching thing even about? Intern Alicad. The Shark Punching Center was literally birthed from so many people spelling SCP wrong as a typo that someone made up the meaning for SCP and they called it the Shark Punching Center. And then it became a funny inside joke about a typo that grew and grew and grew until people started writing stories about it, and more, and it became its whole group of interest on the SCP Wiki. It is usually in the vein of cheesy 80s machismo action movies, and they are usually pretty funny. Big fan of a tale in the shark punching canon that features a kaiju, a shark kaiju called Mr. Hands. And I think it's called Do Not Go Gently Into That Shark Night. Do not go gentle into that shark night. Yep, I was right. and it is a movie-length SCP tale. The author of Do Not Go Gentle into That Shark Night specifically said, I'm going to follow the structure of writing a screenplay, and then wrote a fucking movie. A fucking Shark Punching Center action movie on the SCP Wiki right now. So take back everything I said about my unlimited budget movie right now. This is the movie I would make. Have you seen Do Not Go Gentle into That Shark Night? Have you seen the Shark Punching Center punching a shark kaiju in the eyeball? I want it on the big screen. I want it. Ace, thank you for donating again. My fidget is butterfly knives. Anyway, Tim Tams are Australian, and I've had some before. Huh, good to know. I am unfamiliar, but I hope they are good. Dr. Sherman, I have a 999 plushie now. No longer is sad, very happy now. Very nice, Grossa. Did you get that from our friend of the channel, scpstore.org, or did you find it somewhere else? Oh my god, Shark Punching Center versus Sharknado. Please, please tell me we have had someone do something about a Sharknado. It does not look like they've actually done a Sharknado on the Shark Punching Center, probably because it's a little close to copyright. But hilarious in concept. I love the idea of the Shark Punching Center having to essentially... They couldn't do parachutes because the wind would be too strong throwing them around. They would have to use that traversal gear from Attack on Titan to grappling hook between buildings and anchor themselves to fight a Sharknado. That would be hilarious. Sans the Skeleton, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and get yourself some ketchup from the commissary. And you didn't send a message with your dono, so simply thank you for your generosity. How do I get a job, sir? Well, intern Castains, I would suggest applying for one. That's usually the first step. Which interpretation of the Global Occult Coalition do you prefer? The one that destroys anything remotely anomalous, or the one that is debatably more tolerant of anomalies than the Foundation and just eliminates threats? I like the latter because it is more complex. It gives you more to play with. I like the idea that from an outside perspective, one could call the GOC the most moral of the containment groups. Meanwhile, the SCP Foundation is too willing to press morality in their work. Da, 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 da. Da. Dr. Sherman, do you know why there's a tag for SCP-040-JP? The tag is only on one article. I absolutely have no idea why a single article would have a tag. But perhaps there's a reason on the Japanese branch that is a thing. Researcher Last, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a lollipop on your way past the commissary. A mini fridge is being sent to Site 19. Is this one of the anomalous portal mini fridges, or is this just a report about a standard non-anomalous mini fridge? I don't understand why I would be looped in on that. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I went to the site that you recommended. Really cool and imaginative stuff. I've also loved playing the game on Roblox. Probably not a good comparison. Still, I love SCP. Yeah, Roblox games, as I hear it, have a pretty simplistic view of SCP lore, as does a lot of off-site content. So, while it works as an introduction, it is good to go deeper once you find interest, so you can find some more of the complexity and layeredness of the Foundation that gets omitted from the surface-level materials. And so I'm glad you enjoyed the website I recommended, and I hope you found some fun stuff. I looked a bit into SCP stuff last night and was wondering what would happen if the indescribable lizard went up against Kirby. I don't think you mean indescribable. It is quite descriptable. It is unkillable, or at least hard to destroy. But I mean, Kirby is a weird eldritch abomination as well. And so my thought process is that, you know, 682 wouldn't really attack Kirby in the first place unless Kirby attacked it. And Kirby isn't the kind to attack it unless it does something to it. Because Kirby is kind of chaotic neutral in that way. It just kind of goes along its own thing, helping people as a side effect of what it's trying to do. I mean, I guess there's some morality. It helps the kingdom sometimes. Long story short, too late. The likelihood is it would be a stalemate because 682 has been sucked out of dimensions before and just popped back into reality. And so being eaten by Kirby would not banish it in a way that it could be no longer banished. Hold on, I got a Ko-Fi notification. Let me check that so I don't ignore it. Rose Lady, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and thank you for doing it through the Ko-Fi, which has about 50% of the fees that YouTube Super Chats do. So we see more of your donation, and we appreciate you going through the effort. Make sure to grab yourself a chicken sandwich on your way past the commissary. I had to fight YouTube to get here tonight. I shall now channel my frustration to seeing where I can get in here with a lab coat, coffee mug, clipboard, and sheer irritation. Hey, do not let YouTube futz with you. They owe us. They owe us. We have a deal for allowing us to use the back channel of their algorithms to broadcast our anomalous broadcasts. So they should let us do our jobs as agreed upon. Do you like the other SCP YouTubers like Dr. Bob or the Rubber? Intern Technology Death. The answer is the Rubber and Detective Void are on my naughty list. Their content churn got to a point of being so cheap, so wrong about the content of the stories because they were just trying to go for maximum clickbait, even throwing in random copyrighted characters like Freddy Fazbear when they had nothing to do with the story. And all sorts of stuff. If you look at my videos on the channel exposing the Rubber and Detective Void, you'll see why I'm not a really big fan. Dr. Bob, SCP Explained, are better than Dr. Detective Void and the Rubber, but still, you gotta just make sure you verify what they put into a story, because they also clickbait to a insane degree, but they're not as bad. Researcher Last, thank you for donating again. Site 19 director requested an anomalous mini fridge. But is this one of the portal ones that we're still experimenting on, or is there another anomalous mini fridge? What's the deal? Fill me in more details. Was that soda orange or orange cream? This is an orange and cream soda. Not sponsored, just wanted an orange creamsicle. Cat Cactus, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Hi, am I late? You are coming in 45 minutes into a 3-hour stream, so you're not too late, but you should work on your tardiness. It's such a shame because Detective Void had an actual interesting plot line, but I do enjoy SCP animated before the finale. After the finale has a lot of problems Dr. Sherman mentioned. Lanny, I'm not mad about Detective Void's storyline that they're going for. I enjoy that concept, actually. Brings a little something to your continuity. But Detective Void was always really litigious about making sure that the Detective Void character was not Creative Commons, like the rest of the SCP concepts they were covering, which, if they did content outside of SCP, I would really understand it more. But you could see at the beginning of their channel, before they deleted all their videos, that they had done multiple different things, and all of their non-SCP content did not get a lot of views, but then their SCP content did, because it was during the 2020s SCP crazy arms race in the content farm community. And so they pivoted to focusing on us because that's where the views and the money were. But then if you're making your whole bank off SCP, why don't you just join the community proper? Why do you gotta force yourself to be on the outside and stuff like that? They were also really litigious copyright claiming people reacting to their videos, which is not cool when you're doing content about a Creative Commons community. So they just weren't very friendly to the community in that way, which is kind of a bad sign. Quick question, do you have an favorite SCP? Intern Amarante. I traditionally say my favorite SCP is at the end of stream. It's a tradition around these parts. And that's in about 2 hours and change. But if you want to know early, you can always donate, and I'll just say I'm early for you if you ask. Or you can go to yesterday's stream, watch the ending, because I said it at the end of stream yesterday too. And so you can cheat that way if you want to. Dr. Sherman, permission to knock out the 939 instances and put a collar on them to alert us of their presence. And what if they start mimicking the voice on that and triangulating us by lying about where they are? You're looking at something that could be easily gamed. Attention, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. Reminder, we have a moderator in the chat. Their name is Desk. Their name is Blue. And if you see the blue name, you should look at what Desk says to make sure you are not the target of a problem. Because if you get blocked because you ignored the desk, that is at your own peril. Ace, thank you for donating again. Okay, I'm not mini-modding, but SCP-067 is a fountain pen that takes control of your arm. Stop asking. Well, while I appreciate you donating to do that, reminder that one important part of moderating and or handling situations like this is if you give a bad actor attention, they will continue to do the thing you gave them attention for. Which is why it's a little better to just let Desk handle it quietly than to call attention to it and have them do more because you brought attention to it. Just a future reference. I love the background music. Intern KL Brayon, you are listening to the smooth vibes of SCP author and friend of the channel, Slowgramming. Slowgramming can be found on YouTube, Spotify, or Bandcamp. Bandcamp? Bandcamp. SoundCloud, that's the one. And you can enjoy Billith's Slowgramming vibes there. We have on Spotify a special playlist I use for the stream called Middle Distance by Slowgramming. And it's a compilation of Billith's songs that are all about the same volume, so you can vibe without it getting too quiet or too loud. What is that necklace? It is a yoga bead. It is just a yoga necklace. It's good for vibes. Has there ever been found footage of an SCP that was sent across the world? How was it handled, and did it lead to the term myth? Well, the term myth has been around a lot longer than SCPs have in general. So, no, it didn't lead to the term myth. I don't know why you would ask that. But what I can answer is that, yes, found footage of SCPs turns up all the time, and we usually have to hunt down the person who posted it, amnesticize them, take down their video, say it was a prank, bro, and then contain the entity so people can stop filming it. King of ADHD, thank you for your 1-month member message as a level 1 researcher here at Site42. We appreciate your membership and your service. I don't know what to say, but yay 1 month. Yay 1 month indeed. Thank you for your membership and your service to helping the Site42 cause. Ace, thank you for donating again. Got it, boss, and better, boss. Jib, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a piece of pecan pie on your way past the commissary. Is there an SCP based off an old 1940s radio? I don't know the answer to that. I know for a fact that SCP-3043 is based... That's not the right number. Is based off a 1937 Olympia Elite typewriter. So we do have that. But for an old radio, I don't know. SCP Antique Radio. Sounds like a thing we'd have. 5805 is a Zenith brand AM radio, which has been playing jazz since at least 1982. A single radio receiver is to be put near SCP-1316, which is Lucy the Kitten Feline Espionage Device. This cat is a radio broadcaster for Chaos Insurgency spies. This is why you don't just befriend every cat that you see on site. It is a radio for Chaos Insurgency strike teams. Do not befriend every cat. They might be spies. 1316 is the code number for the cat radio spy. It looks to me, to finish your question, that there are no 1940s vintage radios in containment. The best I can find, Jib, is that first one I found that was a 5805 is from the 70s. Why would the Shark Punching Center care about a T-Rex? Well, obviously because it's had its DNA spliced with a shark. And so, yeah, Shark Punching Center's ready for the land sharks. Which group of interest, in your opinion, has the worst point to make? Intern bored as hell. I'm probably going to go with Are We Cool Yet? Because even if when they have a point, which they don't normally, as their head, Ruiz Deschamps said in a tale once, all of our people keep making these statements with their art, but then killing the people who see them, meaning that no one gets the point anyways. It's dumb. So Are We Cool Yet is the worst for today anyways. The floating skull breached containment. What do we do? Just bring it some fluoride toothpaste and coax it back into its containment cell. Why are we getting a tree to scream? Intern technology death. Before I begin, just a quick reminder. I don't know if you know this actually, but in nature, in real life, scientific papers have been written about this. All plants scream. All plants. When you mow the lawn, lots of little screaming. When you break a tree branch, screaming. When you pick a flower's petals, that is torture. You are being a monster, and the flower is screaming the whole time. All plants scream at a frequency humans can't hear. That is well-known, tested fact. If we could hear the trees and the plants screaming, that would be a hideous existence, so I'm glad we have evolved to not hear that all the time. But SCP-4521 is the only one that doesn't scream. In fact, rather than scream, it emits an ear-piercing silence. It's very frustrating. I would love for it to scream so it can stop enraging all the staff in a close radius with its ear-piercing silence. I am doing the Lord's work in trying to make this tree scream. And by the Lord, I mean all praise to our long and merciful Lord, the infinite fish that just goes on forever, SCP-5320, praise its glorious infinitude. May we find the head or the tail. Amen. Let's get drunk at work. Praise the space starfish, not the longfish. Dr. Frogman, you're getting a little too into your cover story. We do not praise the starfish. Never turn left on the crossroads. Let me see if I can find this. You just gave me a funny memory that I would like to share with you guys. I can't find the TikTok or the tweet about it, but there's a funny recognizing that the horror of Gen Z and Gen Alpha are all about rules. Everything horror that Gen Alpha and Gen Z puts out, analog horror and all that, it's all, don't do this at night. Don't walk past the windows. Don't open your eyes. Don't this, don't that. And so I find it funny, now that you realize that you're like, oh, everything is just here's rules of what not to do, and the rules are scary. I can't help but think that at least being part of the creepypasta community, SCP might have some addition to that. You know, don't blink. Don't look at its face. We are, I think we're in the same vibe. We're not better than that, Dr. Frogman. We are right in there, actually. Jib, thank you for donating again. The closest ones I could find that are close to my previous question are SCP-012, 3034, and 5178. And Desk, thank you for pulling those up. I am currently opening them in tabs to see what we have. You were asking about, if I'm correct, a radio. Yes. And so 012 is sheet music, not really a radio. 3034 is a radio station, but it's not a 1940s radio. And then 5178 is a dude. That is a whole ass man. That is not a radio. But it is a broadcast station, so it's a human that's a radio instead of a cat that's a radio. Still not a 1940s radio, though. I'm surprised we don't have something that antique and radio-like. A little surprised at that myself. Sorry, was driving. Delayed response. May we find the head or the tail? Good, Amber. I was worried that you were going to miss the prayer, and then you would not be allowed to get drunk at work. So I'm glad you caught on. Notorious Gaming, thank you for donating again. What about 729? Dash J! Stop it with that thing! With the tree to make it scream. The Ethics Committee and the Overseers won't approve that test. I'm waiting for approval and they're just stringing me along. It's rude. Pardon. Ugh. Ace, thank you for donating again. I forgot what I was going to say, so take my money. Well, Ace, thank you for your generosity regardless. What if 173 goes into SCP-3008? Does that mean it's explained? Intern Technology Death, your question makes no sense. First of all, 173 inside of the Infinite IKEA would just go around killing things. Second of all, that explains nothing. What are you talking about? Explained is when an SCP is explained and therefore no longer anomalous. There is nothing that makes SCP-173 non-anomalous by putting it in the Infinite IKEA. I'm just so confused by what even you're saying. I want to ask this question about Dr. Sherman in the chat. Prehistoric entities that are considered anomalous, right? Like if a dinosaur or something similar came back to life? Yes, because dinosaurs are not a normal occurrence in our day and age. Any dinosaur that came along would be anomalous. For instance, we have several prehistoric entities in containment that were brought to life in some anomalous fashion or other. We also have the fact that it turns out Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States, was secretly a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a cognitohazardous mimetic field that caused people to perceive it as a human being. So too was John Wilkes Booth, an Ankylosaurus that was disguised by a cognitohazardous mimetic field to make us all think that it was a human. That SCP article is called Sic Semper Tyrannosaurus, if you want to look it up for verification. Seiji Girl, Floating Hand Spider. Yes, it's over in the super cool petting zoo right now. And in fact, if you were here yesterday's stream, you saw a sneak preview for an animated version of that short that I have commissioned. And I'm going to release, I have decided, with the artist for this weekend. So the first of me and SCP Silent Madnesses, name pending change. They're going to change that name soon. But subscribe to them anyway. SCP Silent Madness for now, here on the YouTubes, is going to collab with me on some Site-42 animateds. So that will be very fun. I look forward to further animateds like we did yesterday. Dr. Frogman, was John Wilkes Booth a Spinosaurus? You might be right. I don't know, let's look it up. Sic Semper Tyrannosaurus. No, I don't mean Sic Semper Tyrannus. I mean what I said, Internet. SCP-6861. Yes, you are correct. John Wilkes Booth was in fact a Spinosaurus. Ace, thank you for donating again. America 1776 is trying to tell you that the likes are double the views. Oh, it turns out they are. Congratulations, Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename Signal Boosters. You've gotten the likes to double the viewer count. We will continue to be algorithmically blessed by YouTube for your actions, which will bring more people into Site-42 and the greater SCP community. So thank you for your like button hitting service. And in fact, I'll have you guys know, we have a report from yesterday. Yesterday's stream, I don't know if you guys hit that like button super effectively compared to normal, or if people were very excited about that sneak peek of the Site-42 animated I shared. But yesterday's stream had 30,000 total views. That is more than any stream we've done in the last 7 months. By multiples. I don't know what the hell happened there, but I'm not complaining. And I hope that future collaborations with Voidster Voidly, i.e. SCP Silent Madness, lead to further excellence like that. Lanny, for your further information, Desk would like to point your attention to SCP-1265, codename the Mesozoic Preserve, which is a land of dinosaurs that we have in containment. So if you really want to enjoy some dinosaurs in the SCP database, 1265 is your place. What's that one SCP that's a living dinosaur skeleton? Intern Puppycorn. I know which one you're talking about. Oh, I shouldn't have hit that button. No, get out of here. I'm still getting used to the size of my new keyboard. No, that's not what I wanted. SCP-250 is the animate fossil skeleton of a dinosaur. SCP-250 is what you're thinking of there. Ace, thank you for donating again. Woo, I'm gonna go donate on a random short. We continually thank you for your generosity, Ace, and make sure that you do not put yourself in danger by donating so much. Make sure you stay within the taking care of yourself range here. Is SCP-343 a chill guy? SCP-343 is an annoying bastard who can bend reality to its will and yet doesn't do anything to help the Foundation. So, I would say it's only chill in that it is quiet, it relaxes there being a pompous ass. Hello, Site42, how are you doing today? Well, Intern Lieutenant Lol, I am doing just fine. I brought my umbrella, so I am well protected from the old SCP versus new SCP storm that's bothering Japanese SCP Twitter. And we're all just vibing, enjoying SCPs and the actual wiki and getting our information from the source, rather than just making things up and not knowing what we're talking about. Can we put 682 in a black hole and we will be fine? Intern Toys and Crafts. 682 has popped back into existence from being wished away from reality. A black hole's not going to do the job. You saw nothing. Intern Lim, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dr. Sherman, if 096 went in his raid state, please remember SCP-096 as well as all SCPs are classified as objects, not people. They are its. They are not he's or she's. They are its. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Furthermore, if 096 went in its rage state, but we put it down a hole very, very deep, can it escape? Can it dig through hard materials? 096 can burst through concrete walls. Its claws are certainly sharp enough to dig into a hard surface and use that as a climbing tool to escape. Yes. What is your favorite water SCP? Water SCP. Well, I'm not going to say water nymph. I'm not going to say I do not recognize the bodies in the water. I'm not going to say the town where the rain erases all the people. Oh, I got a good one for you. I've got a good one for you. In fact, I've got two. In fact, I've got two good ones. The first one SCP-5088, codename The Empty Pool. It's a very short article, but it's Tanhoney, who you know always slaps when they hit the pen to paper. SCP-5088 is an empty pool located in an abandoned Fitburn Health Club in Wigan, England. Although all forms of analysis confirm that no water is present, objects placed within it will behave as if there is, floating or sinking at the bottom as is appropriate for each individual object. Similarly, individuals placed within 5088 have demonstrated the ability to swim within it, as well as display difficulty breathing when submerged. Post-test interviews indicate that no physical sensation accompanies submergence within 5088, only a change with the ease of movement while inside it. All attempts at removing the hypothetical liquid from this anomaly have failed, as it does not quantifiably exist outside of its effect on other objects. And we tested it on several things. Let's see, where is it? Where does it get creepy in the addendums? In order to test the extent of 5088's effects on living organisms, a subject, in this case a lab mouse, bred for testing purposes, was placed into a small cage and lowered to the bottom of 5088 to be kept there for a period of 5 minutes. So, you know, underwater, under anomalous non-water, you think the mouse would drown. The subject immediately became distressed when submerged in 5088 and attempted to escape from its cage, but was unable. Subsequently, it was observed to hold its breath for a period of 3 minutes, following which it twitched numerous times and became inactive. At this time, observation of testing implants confirmed the subject had expired due to suffocation. However, when removed from 5088, the expired subject was observed to reanimate, with all vital signs returning to a neutral state. Following this, however, it did not respond to stimuli and expired again several minutes later. Autopsy of the subject shows that the second cause of death was choking on its own tongue, which it had bitten off. Experiment 2, we tried to discern whether 5088 inherently possessed reanimation capabilities, or if that reanimation was in response directly to the drowning in the liquid that did not exist. We dropped several dead bodies into 5088. When we brought them up, none of them came to life. And so, when we lowered a D class into the water and drowned it, and then brought it back up, the subject, after reanimating, screamed hysterically and ran towards the nearest wall and bashed its head against the wall until falling unconscious. The subject was repeating the words, "It's waiting for me. It's all waiting for me back there." When it died, the D class was observed to smile. What the hell's in that pool? What the hell's in that pool? So that's one of the 2 water anomalies I'm giving to you right now. Meanwhile, Ace, I have gotten donation sets from 2 videos, so thank you for donating twice during those during this stream. I can't see those comments right now, but I'll check them later. Now, furthermore, water anomalies. I've got to find SCP diving suit. And I got to find the right SCP diving suit. There we go, SCP-5826. SCP-5826 is a newt suit, slightly damaged. So what happens is, if you wear this diving suit, you experience mild discomfort, foul odors, muffled vocalizations from an unknown source, and acrophobia, or fear of heights, and temporary blindness that can last for 40 seconds. While you are wearing this suit, you become intangible to liquids. So you can just phase through liquids. So, you know, if we pour water on you, it goes to the floor. If we put an ice cube on top of you while wearing the suit, the ice will stay there, but as it melts, the water will drip to the ground. So we discovered this in 2017 at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. The skeletal remains of an unidentified male human were discovered inside SCP-5826. The cause of death was a fall of upwards of 100 meters. So if in that case you can tell what had happened there from the context. So yes, SCP-5826 is severely underrated as a short anomaly with a interesting hook to me. How do you feel about fan-made SCP-OCs and SCP-AUs? Intern Simber, I'm just fine with them. Make up your own stuff. Make art, please. But, of course, due to the perils of being an SCP YouTuber, I limit myself to only covering wiki canon things. Otherwise, I'd be here covering every single OC under the sun and we'd never get anything done. But yes, make things. And eventually, when you get good enough, make things for the wiki. You saw nothing. Ace, thank you for donating again to the stream. My favorite quote of yours is, "Vor is just sexy cannibalism," by Dr. Sherman. Well, that does sound like a thing I said just yesterday. You know, we talk about a lot of things here at the Foundation. We have a lot of gore, we have a lot of sex, and sometimes those themes Venn diagram into making everyone uncomfortable. Hashtag annoyed in asexual. But we are an SCP community channel, and we have to deal with these themes like adults, to the best of our ability. Dr. Sherman, how long have you been doing this for? Intern Hoff, I need you to clarify what you are considering the word "this" to describe. If you're talking about how long have I been streaming so far, that would be 80 minutes out of a 3-hour stream that we're doing. If you're asking how long have I been doing YouTube for the SCP community, that would be 10 years. We had our 10-year anniversary back in June. If you're talking about how long have I been streaming daily, that would be 7 months and counting of daily streams. So a lot going on there. So wait, if SCP-5826 was put into SCP-1588, I wonder what would happen. What's SCP-1588? The cliff face. I mean, that's just a cliff. So, I mean, it's not going to go well. Also, I do enjoy SCP-1588 on its own merit. In case you're unfamiliar, it's called the Cliff Face, and it is an area of the White Cliffs of Dover off the coast of England. And when you visit this area, a frickin' ghost will show up and try to push you off the cliff. But it won't push you figuratively. I believe it will just try and convince you that committing suicide is the right move. No, wait, that's not this one. That's a different anomaly at the cliffs, right? It watches boats. Oh no, because this isn't the ghost. This is actually just a cliff. This is a living cliff that watches the boats. Now I gotta find the one where it's the ghost that tries to get you to kill yourself. Yes, 1588 is just a cliff that likes boats. So that is not what I was thinking about, but now I need to know which one's the one that tries to push you off a cliff. SCP, what push you off a cliff? No. 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 Do I have... I know I recorded this for the database, I believe. Do I have something about a cliff? No, I don't. Oh, that's annoying. Arg. Ghost that... Nope, that's not the one. Grrr. All right, well, I'm going to have to do something drastic. Going into my playlist and see if I can recognize any names. Because if I record it for the channel, that means I have a recording of it. So that means I should be able to search and find it through here. It's just so many articles that I've read, so it's going to take a minute. This is going to annoy me. What is it? What is it? Do 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 do. I'm packed and I'm holding, I'm smiling, she's living, she's golden, she lived for me. Says she lives for me, ovation. Her one motivation, she comes round and she goes down on me. And I make her smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you want to do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what you go through. One shot to the rhythm that divides you. And I speak to you like the chorus of the verse. Drop another line like a coda with a curse. Something like a freak show takes the stage. We live in the games we play, she said. I want something else to get me through this semi-charm kind of life. Baby, baby, I want something else. Not listening when you say goodbye. Do 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 do. The sky was gold, it was rose, I was taking sips of it through my nose, and I wish I could get back there, someplace back there, crying in the pictures you would take. Doing crystal meth to lift you up until you break. I won't stop, I won't come down and keep stop to the tick-tock rhythm. Bump to the drop, and then I bumped up. Took the hint that I was given, and I bumped again, and I bumped again. Said, how do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? How do I fit myself back to the place where she said, I want something else to get me through this semi-charm kind of life. Baby, baby, I want something else. Not listening when you say goodbye. I believe in the sand beneath my toes. The beach gives the feeling, an earthy feeling. I believe in the faith that grows, and the four right words could make me cry. When I'm with you, I feel like I could die, and that would be alright, alright. When the plane came down, she said it was crashing. With the city, it seemed not to feel alive. Now I'm struggling to survive those days you were wearing that velvet dress. Yo, the priestess, I must confess, those little white pennies, they passed the test. So fanny on the belly, face down on the mattress. Whoa. Wait. No. Alright, I'm running out of patience, and I'm running out of articles to check. There's the empty pool. Buried the sun. Rose against their leg. Panopticon, City of Blood. Numerical proofs that you suck. That's a good one. That's the one that killed the cat until it died 9 times. Come on. Where is it? Come on. It's somewhere here. Where is it? Oh, this is annoying. Where are you, ghost that tries to convince you to jump off a cliff? All right, I'm going to take a break from this to check on Chat is saying it's a bridge with an angel, says Desk. A bridge with an angel. When I search for that, I'm not seeing any article called that. I'm coming back to the chat for a second to check in. 4026 people are saying. Frogman says it's 4026. That sounds right. Something in my head says it's that number. I hope you're right. Essex, East Sussex, Guardian Angel. Quote, thank you. Dr. Frogman and I think Mortis. You were the names I saw. I'm sure more people said it maybe. But yes. And just to be clear, I read 4026 on the database. Did I read it before 2018? 4026. Okay, it was on this page that I was just starting down. In fact, it was the third one on this page of stories, so I was just about to find it, but you guys found it first, so good on you. Thank you, team. SCP-4026 is a ghost on a cliff, and if you hang on the cliff, it just tries to convince you to jump. What a wild. It is a cliff, right? I'm remembering right, it's a cliff. An estimated 100-meter stretch of the land of Beachy Head Chalk Headland in East Sussex. Single subject must approach the affected area with suicidal intent. Okay, so yeah, this is... Yeah, okay. At least we found the article. At least I'm not going to be annoyed anymore. All right, refreshing the chat. Alex Ask, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chicken pot pie at the commissary. And thank you for being a member as well. Found a tenner on the catwalk while doing rounds, so have it. Cheers to you, Dr. Sherman. Oh, well, thank you kindly for taking your luck and helping us out with it. Much obliged. Now I just want to rage bait the ghost. Well, spoiler alert, SCP-953, but one of our agents ends up throwing the ghost off the cliff, and now that anomaly is neutralized. So... Not very good to check on that now. Ace, thank you for donating again. Who's your favorite music artist? Mine is Gorillaz. Well, I am a singer and a dancer and a musical theater performer, so I have a really hard time picking favorites because I go through so much music in my life. But I can say my favorite genre of music is Canadian music. For some reason, I don't know why, but every time I like a band, they turn out to be Canadian. The Bare Naked Ladies, Canadian. Michael Bublé, Canadian. Great Big Sea, Canadian. The Saltines, Canadian. Carly Rae Jepsen, Canadian. I guess I just like Canadian music for some reason. Liam, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a Snickers at the commissary. And since you didn't send a message, just simply thank you for your generosity. Would AM be a SCP? Well, it can't be an SCP because it's not on the SCP database, but if it existed in the SCP database, the way the story of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is presented, AM would be an Apollyon level threat. It is an end of the world, destroying 99.999% of humanity. So, in that way, if AM were on the database, it would be an Apollyon anomaly. Site-42 staff, I have to run a quick errand, please. Dr. Chair, keep them entertained for a moment. Apologies for my absence. It turns out SCP-999 has got itself stuck inside a vending machine trying to get to the Skittles. So, we've got facilities working on it. We're doing our best. Ay caramba. Ace, thank you for donating again to say, nice to know you like my homeland's music. Well, there you go. What's your favorite game SCP, like SCP-5167 when the imposter is sus? Well, I think when it comes to video gaming SCPs, I'm torn between SCP-5045, which I know as Goat VR, because that's the name of the game, but the actual code name for the anomaly is not Goat VR. Nope, go back, don't do that. Goat VR is SCP-5045, which is codename You Get Used to It. And then there's that SCP whose number I always forget. They're the Quake players who got sucked into the game and we ended up making them a mobile task force. 2639. SCP-2639, the Quake players who kind of like reboot, land in the real world, shoot everybody, and then leave because they didn't realize they were in real life, not trapped in a game. So, I think that is a very cool article as well. Fun fact, I was a D class for Halloween and my friends were 049, 096, and Mellow. That's pretty cool. Love to see the SCP Halloween costumes getting out there. Ace, thank you for donating again. Chair and Desk are my favorite members, and Dr. Sherman is my favorite site director. Well, much obliged for your generosity and your votes of confidence for the team. Technology death, the answer is 2639 and 5045. Ace, thank you for donating again to complain about a typo that you did in a previous message. Your generosity knows no bounds, it seems. Dr. Sherman, who's your favorite security department person? Interesting, rar caution. On one hand, I would place my vote for Draven Kondraki as a member of the security department that I'm a fan of. Draven's relationship with his father and the relationship with Clef in the ship in a bottle cannon is quite humorous. Furthermore, Draven's relationship with the researcher Talaran is adorable. And furthermore, there's a security personnel by the name of Claire, who is the OC of SCP artist Dreamcast. And Dreamcast puts a lot of these posts on Twitter, but that is some fantastic artwork of their security personnel OC. And so Dreamcast and Claire get mad props. If you want to follow that person on Twitter, they are at Dreamcast641. At Dreamcast641 is the artist behind security personnel Claire. Dr. Sherman, is that a Max Goof shirt? Intern Researcher Knackle, yes, this is a Goofy movie shirt for today's stream. One must stand out above the crowd. Who is your biggest SCP? Hear me out and don't say Mallow. Intern Simber. There are no hear me outs in the SCP Foundation because it is against protocol to fraternize with anomalies. Stop it. Triples, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Milky Way on your way past the commissary. The Orb wishes to meet the SCPs. I am... Desk. Take that down to 2 on Simber. I thought that one was particularly funny. Remember, chat, I can't make jokes about not fraternizing with anomalies if no one offers to fraternize with the anomalies. So, while I chastise them because it's my job as the site director, it is still a little funny sometimes. Ace, thank you for donating twice, once again because you forgot a typo. I gotta go. Possess Dr. Shaw, put a photo of 096 on the face of 173. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Look at the feet, and you'll be fine. Just look at 173's feet. Don't look at the face. It's obvious. You people need to think when you're doing things. Meanwhile, Triples, going back to the orb. I don't know what this orb is. I don't know what this orb is. Everyone's saying, are you aware of the orb? I don't know what the orb is. And it sounds weird and culty, and I don't know that I like it. Raccoon Dog, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some cheddar. Ow, ow, cheddar whizzy! On your way past the commissary. Here, you can see the shirt again. This is a bit goofy, to be sure. Yuck. By saying the orb, you become part of the orb. Okay, well, it is very good that we have desk here covering us from magnetic hazards and cognitohazards and the like, so that we are safely protected from this the same way 2521 cannot get us during this stream. Are SCPs able to make mac and cheese? Well, intern House, there are some food anomalies that can spawn mac and cheese. There are also anomalies that are sentient and sapient creatures who are capable of cooking mac and cheese. The answer is yes, some can. How accurate does a depiction of 096 have to be to trigger him? For example, a cosplay or a drawing. Intern Simber, please read the SCP-096 document. It is very clear on this subject. The only thing that can make 096 chase you are video representations and photographic representations. Artwork of any kind, no matter how accurate, cannot activate 096. You could draw the most pixel-perfect representation of 096's face, but if you drew it, it doesn't count. Now, of course, to draw it perfectly, you would have had to have seen it, which means that likelihood you would be dead before you finished your pixel-perfect representation. But the point still stands. Artistic representations don't do it. Only photographs and videos. So no, cosplays wouldn't do it either. Dr. Sherman, back to testing 939. If the 939 instances mimic the caller's voice, wouldn't that still tell us where they are? That depends. If I'm remembering correctly, the 939s can also throw their voice. And what that means is that you hear the caller from one angle, but then you hear the caller from a different angle, and you don't know which way is accurate. So, not particularly clear because they can throw you off using that method. When is the stream going to end? Our time check, we are currently 110 minutes into today's stream, which means we have 80 minutes left. 1 hour and 20 minutes left in stream. Intern Fox. I always say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. It's a bit of a tradition around these parts. So, if you make it to the end of the stream in an hour and 20 minutes, you'll hear my favorite SCPs. Or you can cheat by donating to have me say them earlier. Or you can go to yesterday's stream and watch the ending where I said my favorite SCPs. So, that's how it goes. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a stick of gum on your way past the commissary. Are there any black hole related SCPs? Well, what I'm going to have you do right here, Intern November, is I'm going to have you watch and learn. We go to the SCP homepage, and in the upper corner, there's a search button. And then you go here, and you type black hole. And now every page on the database that has a black hole in there is currently visible. SCP-123, contained miniature black hole. SCP-4827, ghost stories around a black hole. SCP-2122, the black hole. We have many SCPs that either contain references to or are in fact black holes. All you have to do is use the search function on the database. Do you know the theory that SCP-096 was originally a hiker, but ran into SCP-1529 and began torturing 096 and made 096 immortal, and that's why 096 covers its face? Intern Claus, I am not familiar with that theory. And where did you hear such a thing? SCP-1529... King of the Mountain, so probably people are saying it because 096 was found on Everest once, and so they're linking them both to Everest. I mean, there's a lot of anomalies on Everest besides the King of the Mountain, so that wouldn't be the only anomaly that ended up there at one point or another. That's not exactly a, uncommon place for anomalies to hang out. Intern reptilian creature. If we use that oxygen-destroying bomb from the Godzilla movie, would it kill the hard-to-destroy reptile? I see right through you, 682. I can tell that you are probing our extermination attempts. I'm not giving you that information. Reptilian creature, you think I'm not going to see through that? Puh, I say. Puh. You lost some weight again, nice. Well, thank you, Metado. Actually, the funny thing is I haven't lost weight. But it's because during my rehab and all the exercise I'm doing, I'm putting on muscle. And having muscle on your body burns fat. It's a fitness thing. And so if you're getting swole, you are by nature also burning more calories just by existing, which causes you to burn fat, which helps. So I've been saying the whole weight the whole time for the last 6 months, but I seem to be trimming down due to the strength training. So that's good. I appreciate that for myself. And thank you for noticing. I'm doing my best with this whole ankle rehab. It's been a bit of a bitch being stuck on the couch all winter last year and then limping on a cane for several months. It's good to be able to move again, at least in theory, and hopefully I can get back into full athleticism over the next couple of months. What happens if we put SCP-6101 with SCP-682? Intern Man Face Boy. While I would be assured that Ethan Prosper, SCP-6101, could easily destroy SCP-682, not a problem at all, as SCP-6101 is the most powerful SCP. I would be hesitant on using that kind of raw power upon 682, who is very adaptable, and while would eventually perish, because SCP-6101 is the most powerful SCP and can't be beat, I am certain that it would cause possibly a world-breaking situation that would cause a lot of trouble. So we don't want to risk the world of humanity on such a thing. We'll find a different way to destroy 682 that's more safe. I feel that. I also feel proud of my current fitness and weight gain. I'm hoping to get back at full mobility once my toe heals. It's currently broken. I sympathize, Lonnie. It was my Achilles tendon that messed up. But yes, the road to recovery is long and unbearable and boring. But we do what we can, we do it right, and we get better. Could someone undye your hair by typing into the anomalous coffee machine, Dr. Sherman's hair dye? Intern Wendy, I doubt it, because once the hair dye becomes ingrained in the hair's follicles, it is no longer a liquid. It is in fact a solid, a powder, until water is introduced and gone again. So I do not believe that it would be pulled out. Yikes, not the tendons? That hurts like a bitch. Tell me about it. My foot swelled up like a marshmallow. And every step I took, it felt like someone was peeling my Achilles tendon off the back of my heel like tape. It was incredibly painful. I couldn't walk more than 2 steps. It was rough. Glad to be on the other side of that. Are there any 4-dimensional SCPs? Interesting, I wonder. Not off the top of my head, but SCP 4-dimensional. 4137 is codename Hyperaxial Nintendo Core Overdose. A 1975 Ford Transit 100 camper van possessing an interior pocket dimension in which subjects can perform unbounded movement through 4-dimensional space. Well, there you go. That's just the starting line for 4D space there. SCP-2364 is a sentient, likely telepathic entity that natively exists in 6-dimensional space, 2 dimensions above your 4 dimensions. Intern Alice, get in line. SCP-049 wants to kill everybody who has the, quote, pestilence. Just get far enough away and 049 will give up running. Are there any two-dimensional SCPs? Intern Taylor. That would be any anomaly that exists on a piece of paper, like hand-drawn Cassie or Fred. Hand-drawn Cassie is a living animated creature, and Fred is a living textual character. Raccoon Dog, thank you for donating again. Got any dad jokes today? SCP dad jokes of the day. Not off the top of my head, but let me have a moment to gather my thoughts. While I'm doing this, Elijah VR, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Best Puppy Corn. Fred is SCP-423, a living fictional character that will jump from book to book and become a character in that story. Fred is a pretty cool dude for an anomaly. Okay. All right, dad joke about an SCP we've talked about today. I've already informed you guys about SCP-5088, codename The Empty Pool, the swimming pool in a fitness club in England that is empty, but you can still swim in it and suffocate somehow despite the fact that there's no liquid in said pool. We tried several experiments, but unfortunately, all of our hypotheses didn't hold water. Are there any peaceful SCPs other than SCP-666? Intern Duckovids. There are lots of SCPs that are peaceful. Too many to name, honestly. The Germans, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a kraut on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I managed to neutralize SCP-096. Well, I'm sure Dr. Dan will be thrilled. But now that we can't research it, I'm a little annoyed. Raccoon Dogs, thank you for gifting 5 Site 42 memberships to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. And if you got one of those memberships, make sure to thank Raccoon Dogs for their generosity in helping us build our ranks of green names so we can win the battle against the white names. I would donate, but I don't got any money. Intern Static Tail, that is okay, because remember, even if you're part of the broke gang, if you are watching our videos and commenting and liking, if you're watching our streams and chatting and liking, if you are liking, sharing, subscribing, all that YouTube business, and doing the same for any SCP projects we send you to help them out as well, then you are an honored and valuable member of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. And because of your help, Site-42 becomes a bigger broadcast antenna to help out smaller SCP projects, so we can support artists getting into the Creative Commons space with us and get more and more expertly made and crafted SCP works. So even if you're broke, gang, we appreciate your service to helping us boost the signals. Is the membership a monthly payment or a one-time thing? Green name memberships, if you get a donated membership, then you're going to have it for 1 month and then it will expire. But you can also sign up for a monthly recurring membership. While your membership is active on the Site42 YouTube channel, you get a green name, a badge, so you are more easy to identify in chat. You get all use of our custom emojis, of which we are currently making more in conjunction with chat member Junior Researcher Sally. And you also get immune to slow mode, which I didn't know until recently. But being a green name means that you are immune to the 30-second slow mode that we have here in chat. Do not abuse it too much. Today I thought of something interesting. I'm thinking about what would happen if SCP-610, the flesh that hates, was introduced to SCP-002, the room that turns things into flesh furniture. So my guess is that an instance of 610 would be turned into furniture by 002. It seems like 002 trumps a lot of anomalous abilities. So I believe that 610 would be helpless in that room. Could SCP-5094 tell us what the pestilence is? Global Occult Coalition, Miss J is good, but not that good. Miss J does not know what the pestilence is. As I always say, I'm pretty sure 049 is just delusional. Renix the Dingo, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some toffee on your way past the commissary. And since you didn't send a message with your donation, simply thank you for your generosity. I'm SCP-123494551. The SCPs on the database end in the 9,000s right now, so your number is far too much. You are making something up there. Don't lie to me on stream, people. Bad things happen. One of my friends is so sure 4521 can't scream, more delusional than 049. Accurate statement. Accurate statement. Dr. Sherman, SCP Secret-J is SCP of the year in my opinion, best absolute cinema. I am unfamiliar with that anomaly. But with that kind of glowing review, how can I not be at least a little curious? Oh, it's one of these. Oh boy. Posted 2 days ago, rating plus 43. Discussion. You know, I do like a good format screw, and I only can, what I see here is the most important requirement for a -J is will it make me laugh at the end? And so, While I'm not going to read this whole thing now, I don't know how long it goes on. I will have to check it out and see if it does not disappoint at the end or not. At a plus 43 for a -J in 2 days, that sounds like it's likely to be pretty good. Who can use SCP-113? Nikki Knackle. SCP-113, the Gender Switching Stone, is available to all SCP Foundation staff members as part of our standard healthcare plan. If a researcher or security member or staff member of any sort wants to transition rather than using standard hormone replacement medical transition, then they have to speak to the on-site therapist at their site, get a clearance, get the paperwork done, because SCP-113 has a non-0% chance of being fatal. It's intensely painful, and if you're willing to go through that, there's also that risk of death, but it's a very short risk, so as long as you can take the pain, you can do it. The problem is every time you reuse the stone, that chance of death gets higher and higher, meaning you don't want to use it willy-nilly, even if you have a pain tolerance. You only want to use it if you really mean it. So, we'll put it as part of the Foundation medical plan, but we will not let you use it willy-nilly. Check with your on-site therapist, get the paperwork done, if that's what you want to do. Top 5 worst ways to die in the SCP Foundation. Top 5 worst ways to die in the SCP Foundation. Well, 2718, what comes after, is utterly horrifying. I don't like that. Oh man, I just had a different one. Being exploded by the Dado banana pill sounds absolutely awful. Whatever the fuck. SCP-9-J does is clearly one of the worst. Knowing where Waldo is probably one of the worst deaths. Having Waldo climb out of your mouth sounds pretty bad. Amber, Drain Snake, thank you for rounding it out. Thank Radiger for telling us what's up. Drain Snake 5798, also one of the worst ways to go. Good, that's 5. Oh, pardon. Orange Cloud, thank you for your 3-month member message as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Are there any chocolate-related SCPs? I believe there are many. There's the chocolate fountain that's made of ants. I hate that. SCP-743 is chocolate fountain with ants. I hate it. Nope. Go back to the tab you were on. 643 is chocolate candies. Codename Delicious Chocolates. SCP-3974-B is composed of chocolate. SCP-3902 is a nut and chocolate nutrition bar. There's a lot of chocolate. There's a lot of chocolate, to be clear. Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a non-anomalous chocolate bar on your way past the commissary. Dumb Ways to Die SCP Edition would go so hard. I agree entirely. Duskbringer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a fruitcake on your way past the commissary. How would the Foundation handle a situation where a wall between physical and digital breaks and floods the digital life forms in, let's say Shibuya? Does that happen in the Shibuya incident? I haven't gotten there yet. But, okay, digital life forms coming into real life. You saw nothing. I mean, all we could really do is contain the entities that spilled out in one way or another. Try to isolate the source of the spawn point for the entities, so to speak. Good whatever time it is, Dr. Sherman. What sites would you say are the best to work at? Well, obviously, Site 42 is the absolute best to work at. No one's going to argue with me on that. Will they? I thought not. Furthermore, Site 43 seems fairly chill. Never Site 19 or 17. Those are chaotic, to say the least. Obviously not Site 13. You know, it's a lot more bad sites than there are good sites. But, you know what a good site to work at is? Whatever site is researching SCP-5320. They have a good thing going there. Site 211. No, Site 211 is where Dr. Cool is going back to. Or Researcher Summers. So, I do not know what Site 5320 is at, but it is a good site regardless. Mr. Scoville, you can read the SCP-999 article yourself to very simply answer your question about what SCP-999's diet is. It literally says in the article that it subsists on a diet of sugared candies. Orange Cloud, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member, and thank you for your exceptional generosity to today's stream. You know what? Rather than going to the commissary for a snack, I want you to go to the vending machine that we just got SCP-999 out of, and before they clean off all the goo, I want you to take your pick of the snacks as they clean it out, because now they're tickle snacks. They give you joy on the outside and the inside. Just don't swallow the 999 runoff. That would be uncomfortable. But thank you for your generosity again, Orange Cloud. Also, boss, you know how we have a Yellow Bunny Peeps plush-looking thing that usually resides in Dr. Herson's office? I am familiar. Well, I found a purple Bunny Peeps plush-looking thing in the office this morning. I have temporarily put it in a bedroom-looking cell. We can't have another one. We can't have another one. We can't have another one! What if the floating hand spider comes back for you? Intern Bag, the floating hand spider, is in the super cool petting zoo. We have restocked on amethyst. It's fine. That idiot who didn't bring a rock lost their face. It's what they deserve. And soon, this weekend, you will see a stunning return of the floating hand spider in animated form. If you didn't see that, you can check out yesterday's stream for a sneak preview in our collaborations with an animation channel to help create animated SCP skits, working toward bigger and better projects in the future. Dr. Sherman, what if we made the collars on 939 glow, alerting people to its location? Well, exactly how bright are they going to be? Because you're dealing with it. If you can see it, you're probably going to get eaten. So by the time you see it, you're probably already chow. Right? Why does it always do that? Very unhappy about Dr. Wright for what he did to SCP-3671. Intern Kaiba, I'm unfamiliar with that anomaly. I'll check it out in a second. Our credit song recommendations allowed chat. Evan Hansen's left arm. Very interested you asked that after the day after I sing an Evan Hansen song. Recommendations are allowed, but I can't always guarantee I know the song or will do it punctually. So it's a crapshoot. Donations make it more likely, but again, not guaranteed. If I don't know the song, then I can't do it. And 3671, a very angry box of cereal is the code name. Following incident, March 13, 2018, it's to be stored in a medium security storage locker in Site 19. Its appearance and contents will be photographed and documented daily. Any harmful substances disposed of appropriately. Standard size, generic brand cereal box. Each day at 6:30 a.m. local time, a new plastic bag of cereal and or objects will manifest inside it, replacing the previous bag and the contents if they had not been removed. It is sapient and aware of its surroundings. It's making strawberry squares, bacon corn puffs. Dr. Frank Wright accidentally tore the box while removing the plastic bag. Label, fuck you, I give you cereal every day and this is how you repay me, and its contents were razor blades. Seriously, man, you're an ass. At least you could do is apologize. Assorted push pins and tacks. What do you call a box of grains that goes on a killing spree because somebody couldn't be bothered to open carefully? A serial killer. Seriously though, I hate you. Bullets of various calibers were inside. I'm tired of ranting. You guys, accidents happen even if you could have dealt with this one better. What do you say we go back to being friends? Cornflakes, testing them revealed them to contain lethal amounts of cyanide. Shit, I was sure you'd fall for that one. I still hate you, by the way. Pieces of military-grade plastic explosive. I will murder you, Frank. I will find out where you live, and I will slit your goddamn throat while you sleep. You will pay for what you did to me, just you wait. Various human teeth found to match those of Dr. Wright in both shape and genetic material. Dr. Wright requested and was granted a security detail. However, 3671 is currently not believed to be capable of acting upon threats given. Well, that is a very angry cereal box. Indeed. And you know what? Dr. Wright tore it by accident. Yeah, probably should have apologized after the fact, but come on. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, Dr. Wright is definitely no Dr. Christopher Burns. Am I right, homies? Junior Researcher Sally. Oh no, I'm a white name, the horror. You were a green name at the beginning of this stream. Your membership expired during the stream. That's hilarious. How far you have fallen from the glory of the green names to a pitiful white name. Oh, we will have pity on Junior Researcher Sally until they are able to come back to the light, the green light. Attention chat, please pay attention to the moderator in chat, the blue name known as Desk. If you ignore the desk, you do so at your own peril and likelihood of being banned for doing things wrong that you didn't know you were doing wrong because you didn't listen to the moderator. What if me and the boys grab SCP-018 and start playing ping pong with him? Why would you call a rubber ball him? How? That's not even like a person that we're containing against their will. That's just a ball. It is literally an object, not just figuratively. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Jeez Louise. Meanwhile, play ping pong with it, and then leave the room. Right, hear me out with this. We could level a city, right? Yes, you could do quite the damage to a cityscape with an infinite momentum bouncing ball. Which is why you're not going to do that ridiculous YouTube prank shit. It is against protocols. What would happen if 999 was locked up for extended periods of time? It would probably be sad. And it would not go... That behavior on our part is not in line with the experiments we run on 999, so we wouldn't do that. If we made 682 out of the living Legos, could it survive being taken apart? The living Legos do not get the anomalous abilities of things they form into. So if you make the living Legos into a 682, it would operate like a big lizard, but then you could take it apart and knock them apart, and they would just go back to being the standard Legos again. I mean the living Legos, but the standard living Legos. Okay, Dr. Sherman, how would Forget-Me-Not from X-Men interact with SCP-096? Since Forget-Me-Not's whole thing is making people forget him as soon as they look away, would 096 be even able to track him? Well, yes, because 096 can sense where you are, even if you're on the other side of the world. So it doesn't matter if 096 forgets, because 056 is not even sapient or sentient as far as we can tell. It is an instinctual being that goes to the point where it is sensing and then does its deed. And so, I do not think you can make 096 forget that you saw its face. Therefore, I do not believe that it is safe from 096. I really want to make a humanoid SCP that's speedy, but I have too many concepts that need to be made into articles, so... Well, intern Lanny, you just write down the ideas you have, and maybe you come back to it when you have more time. Until then, you can check out SCP-5886. That is my speedster anomaly. But if we combine the sound and light, it could at minimum lower 939-related casualties. I mean, we can also reduce casualties by just keeping them locked up, though. That's easier than all of this thing that you're trying to do, training them and such. Just lock them up and throw away the key. Help, I'm looking at a picture of SCP-096. All right, well, we will, intern Finley, we will clean up the mess when you are killed, because there is no solving anything but that. Does 096 attack everything that sees its face? Its face. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. But yes, if you see its face, you die. Well, Desk, Finley did come out of timeout, and then I did tell them that they were going to die by 096 chasing them, so that was appropriate at least. And, you know, we won't have to deal with them much longer, because, you know, 096 is going to get them. Could we just use the bouncy ball to fling 682 into space? That doesn't make sense. If a bouncy ball that is this big goes fast enough to break atmosphere, it's not going to lift 682, it's going to pierce through 682, like a bullet. So, no, I do not see how that would function. What are your theories on SCPs? That doesn't make sense. What do you mean? There's over 9,000 SCPs. What do you mean, what are your theories on SCPs? Can you be a little more specific? Intern Tall Cree, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some licorice on your way past the commissary. And since you did not leave a message with your dono, simply thank you for the shiny coin and your generosity. How would the Foundation contain the visitors in the game? No, I'm not a human. Intern Clown, I'm not familiar with that game, so I don't know, but I can take a quick peek and see what the entities are. Welcome to the No, I'm Not a Human wiki. Characters, consumable items, endings, groups and organizations, identification, locations, achievements, mechanics, game dev. So what are the entities, though? Which, am I going into characters to see this? It's a lot of characters. Which of these is the one that I should be researching? I guess let's start with Pale Visitor. That one looks creepy. Main antagonist and mascot of the game will consistently serve as a threat to the player and the environment around them. Alright, I chose wisely. Origin, background. Stalking the protagonist's house on the third night. Appears at the door. Tries to, if you are alone, it will take you away, so have people with you, or at least say you have people with you. I can tell if you're lying about having people with you. What abilities does it have? I mean, it has to knock on your door and ask you a question. I have no idea what this thing is capable of, so I have no idea what kind of containments are necessary for it. It seems like you could just lock this thing in a cell and not open it, and you should be fine. This wiki doesn't even have an abilities section telling me what it can do. Very frustrating. So yes, unfortunately, I do not know what these entities do, so I cannot answer your query at this time. If the visitors are like zombies, that's very easily contained. Shamblers are only a problem if you let them get loose and multiply. And at that point, you're looking at a zombie apocalypse, which is more of an Apollyon scenario, not just because you're containing an entity, but because you're trying to contain a large worldwide anomalous situation. Veil breaking, deaths counts in the millions, that kind of thing. Render, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and get yourself a cruller on your way past the commissary. And thank you for your standard Site Delta on Top battle cry. By the way, Site 42 staff, we are in the last 19 minutes of today's stream. 19 minutes, so get your questions in. What are your theories on procreation when it comes to SCPs? Well, intern Becky, first of all, do not fraternize with the anomalies. If you're fraternizing with the anomalies even as a friend, it means you are seeing them as human and not as objects that need to be contained, which means you might sympathize with them and want to release them from containment, which is bad. So no fraternizing with anomalies, number one. Number two, some SCPs, we do need to breed them in order to have more test subjects. So for those, procreation of the anomalies is natural as it is part of the breeding process. That does not give you license to breed with an anomaly. What are your least favorite SCPs? Intern Muichiro. I would not say I have a least favorite SCP in the story sense. It's just not my ethos of enjoying art. Even art that I can tell is not my speed, I can still see the worth in for other people to enjoy it, such as SCP-2721, the trans homestuck satellite that gets so many right-wing chuds in a knickers twisted situation. That is a very good, very well-written article. I just find Tumblr speak super cringe and hard to read, and I don't like cringe comedy. Like, I can't even watch The Office, it just makes my skin crawl. And so, when there's cringe comedy like that, it's not going to be my cup of tea, but for people who do like it and it hits, I'm happy for them. That said, if there's a least favorite anomaly, it is very clearly SCP-729-J. That thing is the worst. How do you feel about the Chaos Insurgency? Intern kids. They are traitorous bastards. Obviously, I don't like them. The what satellite? Intern Kaiba, SCP-2721 is a very famous article because losers get mad about it and they say it ruined SCP or some idiocy. It is a fine article. It is objectively well written, even if I am not a fan of that style of writing, but I can see it's doing a good job of what it's trying to do. Haters gonna hate, and usually they're pretty stupid. Is it possible for anomalies to be integrated into society? Intern Becky? No. Because we won't allow it. Unless we have no other choice. The amount of trouble we have in the world right now with the normalcy that humans enjoy would only be multiplied by how far anomalies would take things in strange and unnatural directions. Can you tell us about SCP, the Play Doctor? Intern Bebes, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm going to need you to elaborate. If you're talking about the SCP plays that I have recorded on this channel, they have been performed by a troupe in Los Angeles, California called Last Call Theater. And they've done SCP Signals, SCP-3008, the immersive theater play, and the Church of the Broken God. I forget the name of that one. But all three are on the channel if you would like to read them. Intern Chocolate, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. What's your opinion on the role-playing community on Roblox for the SCP fandom? If you dig in the rated games, you find extremely tight-knit communities. Intern Alex Powles. While I am not as vehemently anti-Roblox as many are, I still do wish that they would do a little more due diligence in portraying the SCP community properly and not just focusing on the same surface level elements like, ooh, mobile task forces and 096 and 049, etc., etc. I wish they would dig deeper and change up what they are playing instead of the same common surface level analogies over and over. That said, I'm always happy for things to get people into SCP as a funnel that will bring them into the knowledge of the deeper stories and things. So, there's good and there's bad. There's good and there's bad. Global Occult Coalition, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a hot link on your way past the commissary. What is Site 69? It just got transferred today. Let me check the SCP site list. Secure facilities locations. Foundation facilities. This page is always so broken. They really need to optimize this better. '62, '66. Site 69, Western Australia. Established in the 1930s by 057, the purpose of Site 69 is a closely guarded secret. Deepwell is solely responsible for the site's upkeep. It receives a continuous broadcast, which is not to be viewed by any living person or artificial intelligence construct, but any interruption to the signal is grounds for immediate intervention. Transfers to Site 69 are autonomously requisitioned by Deepwell and orchestrated by Site 300-12. Personnel losses are considered acceptable, and the site is not to be disturbed. Due to its designation, Site 69 has a reputation of the Foundation as a joke and or non-existent. This is to be encouraged. There are no objects contained at this facility. Further information is need to know only. Well, I wish you the best of luck. It doesn't sound great. Can you tell me about the Pledge Doctor? Yes, the Pledge Doctor is the researcher who has been punished for bad behavior this or any week and is therefore forced to perform the maintenance spitshine of desk here using Lemon Pledge. Spitshine is a metaphorical term. It's Lemon Pledge, which is why they are called the Pledge Doctor. Man, I feel bad for that guy. Desk is scary. True. I like being shiny. I'd rather be shiny. Thank you for introducing me to the Homestuck satellite. I love all things Homestuck. I bet you do, troll profile picture. I bet you do. But enjoy it. As I said, it's a good article. And if you enjoy it enough, friend of the channel, Radiger, here on YouTube, has a video breaking down SCP-2721 in particular, and why it being a self-insert is not only not a bad thing, as most people claim, because they are ignorant and losers, but also how it makes it stack up against one of the greats of all-time literature, Dante's Inferno. And so 2721 and Dante's Inferno are contained in the Radiger video breaking down the article. So after you read it, go watch Radiger's video on it. It's excellent. Why are you staring into your souls? Because I'm always watching. If you're anomalous, I will find out, and you will be contained. That's all there is to it. Don't worry about it. It'll happen when it happens. It might be happening right now. That video is fire, 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 fire. Rad is so good. No one else has the guts to make a video out of 4chan's headlights and Dante's Inferno. Both of you are correct in your assumptions, to be sure. Radiger, as we all know, is your favorite SCP YouTuber's favorite SCP YouTuber. Global Cloak Coalition, thank you for becoming a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site-42. We appreciate your membership and your service. By the way, Site-42 staff, we are currently 7 minutes from the end of stream. 7 minutes, so get your last minute questions in. Or I guess your 7 last minutes. Your cringe. Intern gaming, that is apostrophe RE. And yes, if you're ashamed of being cringe, then you are a loser bitch baby. Get out there and stand for something. Be cringe, be great. Go out there and make the world your bitch. Go perform, be the best like no one ever was. Being afraid of cringe is being afraid of living. Don't be a coward. Be brave. Be intrepid. Do you think you get to where I am today by being afraid of being cringe? Never. Greatness is one cringe away. What an inspiring message to join the stream to. You're welcome, Pigeon Guy. Guar, welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. What is your favorite soda, not including large brands such as Pepsi or Fanta or Coca-Cola? Intern Wendy. Number 1, Dr. Pepper is the best. I don't care. It is the best. Fight me. Number 2, orange creamsicle soda. Always great. Number 3, orange soda. Who loves orange soda? I do, I do, I do, I do. Ooh. Good cream soda. Always a winner. Multiple brands are good. Finally, McGillicuddy's Pepper Elixir. If you can get your hands on McGillicuddy's Pepper Elixir, it is a Dr. Pepper with black pepper in it. It is so good. Can't find it anywhere, but if you can find it, McGillicuddy's Pepper Elixir. Yo, I love this channel. It's been a bit since I watched this channel. Well, SDC, welcome back to the channel. We have been doing daily streams for the last 7 months, 5 days, and counting, as well as hitting 1 million subs, putting out shorts, and all around broadcasting the benefits of the SCP community to the greater world. So welcome back. Dr. Sherman, if I eat something that used to be Keter, but we reclassified it as safe, does my stomach automatically become Euclid? Would I have to fill out the Euclid conversion paperwork? Intern reptilian creature, none of that makes sense. Not a lick of it. Because A, if it were contained by any anomaly, the anomaly would be thaumiel. So if you were able to eat and contain a Euclid or Keter anomaly, or even a safe anomaly, if your stomach is containing the anomaly successfully, that makes your stomach thaumiel. Please, learn your terminology. So to pause, hello! Welcome to stream at the very last 5 minutes, but good to see you and thank you for your membership and service. Ah, Java Name is here too. Good to see you at the last 5 minutes, Java Name. Could we make SCP-682 think it is a toaster? Global Occult Coalition. That is not how I function. Although in a test with me in the past, I believe we've tested them together. Termination log for 682. And where am I in here? So tissue test. No tissue test. Termination log testing. Denied by 05 redacted. I do not see how I will affect 682. He might try and electrocute himself, but we both know he will only survive. Denied. So unfortunately, we are not allowed to test me with SCP-682 to see what would happen there. But anyways, I do not make you think that you are a toaster. I just make you talk about me in the first person. Therefore, I mean, I guess over enough exposure, those people who were near me did try to plug themselves into walls and or fuck me, but that was weird. TLDR, test denied. This channel teaches me new words constantly, and I love it. That's what you get for joining a literature community. You learned all sorts of fun language in the SCP database, all sorts of new words that you did not know about, and concepts too. Concepts that are new and foreign and scary and terrifying. I love SCP, but I hate reading. Well, that does limit you. But thankfully, there are plenty of SCP readers like myself, like Vulgan, SCP Illustrated, Mr. Illustrated, has a bunch of good stories, so you can go with that instead for your listening pleasure. Mobile Task Force Captain Anna, thank you for your 5-month member message as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your membership and your service. Hey, Doc, just popping in to say hi. Hey, and you caught me in the last minute, literally, so good work. Java Name, thank you for gifting a Site-42 membership to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. If you got that membership, make sure to thank Java Name for their generosity in helping us build the ranks of the green names to help us defeat the white names in the battle against the white names. Desk, thank you for gifting a Site-42 membership to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. Make sure to thank Desk for his generosity if you got that membership. If we get 350 likes, Sherm gets $2. Well, there's 38 likes left, so we'll see if you reach that amount for that donation, Dr. Frogman. Meanwhile, how many musicals have you been in and which ones were they? Okay. In high school, I was Jet number 4, Big Deal, in West Side Story. I did a shadow cast of Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog where I played Dr. Horrible. Not really performing the musical, although I did sing the whole thing because that's how I roll. Even at my Rocky Horror Picture Show cast, I used to perform all the songs as best I could. Then I was in Schoolhouse Rock Jr. Live, which is a children's theater performance of Schoolhouse Rock Jr. with one adult to play the teacher, who was me. I was Joseph in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat as well. So I've been in a couple musicals here and there. Will you be going to Comic-Con in Orlando 2026? SDC, not likely. Orlando Comic-Con is not one that I normally get to. The two conventions I have on my list right now, if things go really, really well last year, I'm pretty much guaranteed to be at MetroCon Tampa again. That is my home convention. I worked for them for several years, and so I try to get back to them in the summers when I can. And then maybe, if I do really, really well financially, which in this economy isn't highly likely. But if things go stupid well, maybe I'll go to Dragon Con Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. Oh, Tampa, I'm there. SDC, we had a panel for the SCP fandom at MetroCon this past year. I was there, I ran the panel. You can find the panel at MetroCon in our live streams back from July, if you go back in the playlist and see the VODs. Damn, if you were there in July, it's a shame we missed you. Whoo! Okay, Site42 staff, we are 3 minutes past the end of stream, which means it is time for the outro. Now, as always at the end of stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. It's a tradition around these parts, but you know I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be cheating. But if you want to see the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see all the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And one tab over from those SCPs, you'll find some links. Some links that people are often very interested in finding, but they just don't think to look there. They miss the links because they're not thinking to look there. And that's a real shame, because those are some pretty good links. I mean, on some of those links, you can become a Site42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. Or you can do Ko-Fi donations or YouTube Super Chats to donate to us one at a time. Either way, we appreciate your support. Direct donations are the quickest way to make sure Site42 gets bigger, stronger, keeps the lights on, supports our crew, and does bigger and better projects and travel and conventions and things like that. Furthermore, reminder that if you are part of the Broke Gang, which, trust me, we're an arts community, starving artist is a trope for a reason. But if you can't afford to donate, it's okay, because as long as you are here, watching our videos and commenting and liking, watching our chats, our streams and chatting and liking, watching all of our content and liking, sharing, subscribing, doing that dance, as well as following orders to support smaller SCP channels, or bigger ones too, support them too. But if I point out a project from a new SCP creator, if you go there and you hype them up and you like, share, subscribe because you're helping me to boost that signal, then you are an honored member of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters. And it's because of your service that we are able to help SCP authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, etc. build bigger and better projects, which helps the community grow, helps us get the things we want on screen. And so we thank you for your service. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031-517-55-5320-8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Site42 staff, this has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Attention, Site42 staff. If you are not done enjoying SCP content this evening, The Desk is streaming more SCP Fragmented Minds the game on The Desk SCP on Twitch. Go watch The Desk after we sign off. She glanced this way, I thought I saw, and when we touched she didn't shudder at my paw. No, it can't be, I'll just ignore, but then she's never looked at me that way before. The credit song is Something There from Beauty and the Beast. Be safe, be well, and secure, contain, protect.